Hey everyone, Ryan Mentz here, and today's video is going to be the first video of a series where we're all kind of getting the same situation. So we're waiting for something to happen here, wildlife-wise, or waiting for birds and stuff to show up, and just kind of stuck in our own thoughts and nowhere to go. No, I figure might as well start the camera rolling here and kind of record some thoughts I have. So in this first video, I want to talk about the stories behind the photos in a general sense. So what I mean is, like, when you're starting out in photography, one of the first things you hear, it's still true today, obviously, but what you see in your final photo that you show to someone or you post online or whatever, what you see there that's it. That's all that matters. That's worthy of the critique of the photo. The backstory behind it, your struggles, the times you've waited, how far you hiked, that stuff doesn't matter. It doesn't play into the final artistic, quality of that photo, which is true, I think. But I was thinking, with wildlife, bird photography, it's a little bit different. Maybe it's not, but it's kind of the way I think of it. There's so much going on behind the photo that you can't help but want to know the information behind the photo, I guess is what I mean. Is there's just there's so many things that go into play behind just a simple photo of a bird, in most cases, I'd say. So what I mean, like, for one, there's the ethics behind how you captured this photo. So, I mean, it could be good or bad ethics. So are you capturing your photos by, do you just keep on approaching a bird? You keep on approaching and keep on approaching, getting closer and closer, getting closer shots until they fly away. And, there's plenty of people that do that. And it's not the way to go about doing it. But, that kind of reflects in the final photo. Should you care about those things in the final photo? Probably. So there's some other examples of that too. Are you baiting? So do you set out food, bird seed, or roadkill for like hawks and eagles and owls and stuff? So you always have like a regular that comes back every time and just got the steady stream of bird shots of them. Like a backyard setup for the bird seed. Do you have like perches and stuff? Do you use audio playback to get the birds to where you want them? That's something I do. So the way I use it is, if I'm wandering around or if I see a specific bird, I'll use playback to get them into the right area that I want them. So like either a specific perch or something. And once they're there, it's cut. If they're there, you got it. That was your chance. And if they want to stay there, they want to come and go, they want to add that perch to their routine, I'm all for it. But you don't just keep on playing it back, obviously, or it should be obvious, hopefully. And then it kind of leads into the grosser side of things. So are you at like a game farm? Can these animals even leave? Are you at a zoo? Is there like a handler that's like right behind you as you're taking these photos? And most of these, I think, we'd be better off if a lot of people disclose these things. I could do a better job of disclosing everything that goes in behind a photo. And I know so many captions you see on like Instagram and stuff, everyone could do a better job of, really disclosing what's going on. And it's not even just these ethics stuff. There's more that goes on behind photos that I think really impact how people see it, and probably worth sharing how it got to that point. So there's also like photo editing, where most people, definitely me included, will do cloning as needed. And, removing branches or removing, unwanted specks that sometimes show up on feathers and stuff, or on beaks. And I'll remove those. The more I remove, it's kind of my rule. The more I remove, the more I'll also leave imperfections, if that somehow makes sense. So, for example, if I remove a lot of stuff from the water, like a lot of, gross stuff floating in the water or whatever, I'll leave another distraction in the photo, which seems kind of weird. If I'm already at the point of removing stuff, why not just go the full way? But I don't know. I just like having a balance to these things. So I don't want to go full out on a photo usually, where I just make it so sterile and clean. If I'm removing something, I usually want to keep at least something else to like add more realism to it. And then there's like color adjustments, obviously, basic curves adjustments. Everyone does these things. There's or not cloning, cropping. People should really realize how much cropping goes on with especially bird photography and songbirds, if you want to get really specific. A lot of people have this idea that you're getting super, super close to these birds. And some people do. And if you're really good at it and, very, very patient, you can get, really close, obviously. But a lot of people kind of play in the middle, I guess. So they have good technique to get close if they want to, but also like birds don't like it when you're close generally, if they're totally wild. So there's a nice balance to have. I kind of want to be at a medium distance just so they're comfortable hanging out there. I don't want to be, right on top of them and get that one photo and then they're just over it. So cropping comes into play because if you're at a medium distance, they're going to be pretty small in the frame. And people really overestimate, I think, what like 600 millimeters gives you. So it sounds like a huge, massive focal length, but and you got the big old lenses behind it. So I feel like a lot of people that haven't shot those lenses kind of think that you're just right in there straight out of camera, but that's not really true. Also, a lot of people can't just like own 500 millimeter, 600 millimeter lenses. So having that budget also kind of constrains you a little bit. And that's also kind of, I don't know if you say nice to know, but it's something that goes on behind the photo that kind of matters. Because what if you can't have these lenses that allow you to stand back? So you really do have to get in there. You really do have to nail your field craft. If it's not disclosed, no one really knows about this. And in the end, though, it does matter because you're playing on an unlevel playing field. Another thing that plays into the photos that you take are the locations that you take them. So do you find these animals where they're common, or are you photographing a very uncommon species for the area? There was a roseate spoonbill up in Minnesota that's super rare, and there was people coming out to photograph that and stuff from the boardwalk, and it was like in the distance, and I'm sure like no one got a good photo of it, but what if they did? What if they got a great photo of it, but in the grand scheme of things, like it's not, a great photo because people are taking great photos of them day in and day out down in Florida. But you wouldn't know that just by looking at the photo. You wouldn't know like that's taken in Minnesota where they're never found. And likewise for the location, are these birds used to humans? Are they used to being around these people where they just don't fly away? They don't really care at all. And are you photographing like in the middle of nowhere where you have to crawl on your belly to even remotely approach like a mallard, which I did this winter. I spent like an hour trying to approach some mallards and ended up where they just weren't having it at all. They would never come close. There was one that came relatively close, and then as soon as they had any hint I was there, they just booked it the other way. So, I mean, mallards can be even super tough in some places, whereas if you go to like a city's duck pond or something, you could probably walk over and pick up a duck if you wanted to. It's just like, it can be super, super hard to get even a common species or what you would think a common species. Whereas other places, it doesn't even have to be like super far away. Like I know of a place I could drive to right now and photograph a mallard from point blank if I wanted to, but like that's not very fun for me at least. So it just all that stuff kind of just plays into the final photo, but again, you just would have no hint of it going on unless there's like a disclosure about it. So I don't have a clear conclusion to this video, I guess, but let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Maybe you share the all right. Oh shit, it's coming right here. Oh, no way. All right, so a crane just landed like right there. So gotta cut this one short. I guess not short at all, but that's all the thought I really had on it. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, and I will see you next time.